Hi all, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Let's start rebooting of using UiPath. In our Orchestrator HTTP request series, we are going to check how to start the job using Orchestrator HTTP request. So like basically you will be having ways to run the job from the studio, right? So you'll be using the activities which is used for Orchestrator and run the job. So these are the two ways which you used to follow actually, right? So but there is a one more way which we can make use of it using the orchestrated HTTP request. So but to run that, so we needed two kind of parameters, which is nothing but a release key and then robot ID. These two key which help us to run the job using this orchestrated HTTP request. So as a prerequisite, so you have to install the web API activity packages, and then so you have to aware about the concept how to get the release key as well as the robot ID. Let me walk you through the release key ID and then robot ID. So how to capture those things. So let me go step by step so that you will be able to attain at the final. You can start the job from using the orchestrated HTTP request. Let me check the documentation which is provided by the UiPath. I have already opened it. So here you can see couple of things. So in this, as a prerequisite, we need to know about the keys and then robot ID, right? So here you can see something called as get release, right? So this get release will help you to get the release key, as well as you can see something called as get robots, which help you to get the robot ID. So let me quickly go ahead and use these two endpoints and extract the prerequisite data which is needed for starting the job. Let me quickly jump back to the UiPath Studio. So this is the two flows which I have made on previous session. So what you can do, so you can make a sequence and name it as get release. What I'll be doing here, I'll be just dragging and drop the orchestrator HTTP request and then the endpoint of our release. So we can capture over here. Here you can use this endpoint to get the release key. Also you can apply the filters as well. So if you need then, so let me try to work it out in both ways. So let me try to copy this and then go to the UiPath Studio. So let me go to the relative endpoint and then try to paste it the endpoint. So once you're done with the endpoint, so what actually the next step you have to do? So you have to create an output variable, right? So let me go here and then just try to create the output variable, so which is Json, and then release. Let me click on OK. So let me try to deserialize this now, right? So let me decentralize and then try to create an object over here. Okay. So J object release. And then click on OK. Perfect. So till now we are going to extract all the information which include the release key now. Okay. So let me try to print this in a right line. Okay. So let me go to the right line and then try to call the variable which is release key and dot to string. Perfect. So let me save this and debug this now. I guess our execution is done. Let me go to the output panel. So here we have n number of data, which is the process has been released to the orchestrator, right? So let me try to copy this and go to the notepad and try to paste the data. So here you can see 27 process on top, right? So which means you have released 27 process to the orchestrator, which means you have published 27 process from the studio to orchestrator. Okay. So here you'll be needing a certain process only, right? So we no need of a all the process. So we are looking on a particular process which we needed, right? So how to extract the particular process? So how to do that? So we have to apply a filter on the release endpoint now. So let me try to do that. Okay. So here you can see n number of attributes, right? So for a particular item, so you can see n number of attributes. So if you are well familiar with any of the attributes for the particular package or for a particular process, you can directly apply the filter over there. So basically we'll be familiar about the process name, right? So you'll be like, so once you publish the process, you'll be aware about the process name. Hey, only this particular process name, I need the keys. Okay. So you'll be well familiar with the process name, not like version. So here process name can be remembered, right? So apart from that, so it will be hard to remember actually. So we can simply take the process name as a filter and then go ahead and apply the filter over there. Let me jump to the UiPath documentation. So here you can see something called as filter, right? So they have applied a filter over here, right? So they have used the environment ID. So but here we can go ahead and use the name, okay? So what you can do here, let me try to copy this. Okay, let me try to copy entire thing. So or else you can just scroll down, so you can get same kind of an endpoint, so along with the names which you are looking for. Okay, so they have provided a couple of release, get release with the examples. Okay, so here you can see something called as OData release filter name equal to this particular name process which they have actually. Okay, so you can apply your process name which you are looking for. So let me try to copy this. Okay, entire thing. Okay, just jump back to the UiPath Studio. Just go to the orchestrator HTTP request in the relative endpoint. So let's try to paste this. So in this, we are going to change this particular value. Okay. So what is the value you have captured over here? So you have captured so many data, right? So in this, which particular process which you are looking for? So let's assume, so we can just look for the orchestrated test. Okay. So in this, what you can do? So the name. So we have already applied the filter which is called as name. Okay. So what actually the data we have to provide here? The orchestrator HTTP test. So here you can see the O data, so which is count of 27. So once I applied the filter, I can see the O data as a only one. So which means we have applied some filter, right? Particular filter. So based upon that, we will be getting a data. So likewise, you can apply to any of this particular process. So it may be any process which you are looking for. It may be database automation. So like, so it respect to up to you. So what actually the process which you are looking for? Let me go to the UiPath Studio and try to provide the value over here. Okay. I have provided the value which is nothing but orchestrated test now. Let me click on OK. Let me click on save now. Okay. So let me click on debug. So here you'll be getting a data as a O data count as only one. So which you have made a filter over there. Okay. I guess our execution is done. Let me go to the output panel. So here, as we expected, so we have seen the O data count equal to 1, right? So what actually the data need to be captured? Okay, so we have to capture the key. So this particular key will be helpful for us to run the job. Okay, so we're going to capture the key. So how to do that? So how to basically capture the key? So there is certainly two ways. So you can make a for each and then you can do that. Otherwise, you can directly traversal to the particular node. Okay, let me try to copy this. Okay, and then go to the notepad plus. So here you can see something called as value. So this is an array. Okay, to traversal into the array, so you can go ahead and use the for each. Okay, so inside the for each, you can get the particular objects which you are looking for. Otherwise, you can traversal to the each and every node which you are looking for. So we can take two kind of an approach, which is for each. Otherwise, you can go ahead and traversal to the all the nodes. Okay, let me go to the UiPath Studio over here. Okay. So let me try to traversal to the node. So instead of using for each, we can directly go ahead and traversal to the node. It will be easier, okay? Let me go to the notepad and try to capture the value. Just try to copy this. Go here, drag and drop an assign activity, okay? Let me name it as release key, okay? So why we are just capturing this release key? So as you already know that, so we have two prerequisites, which is nothing but release key and then robot ID, which help us to run the job. Okay. So that's why we are just capturing these two now. Okay. So let me go here. Okay. Let me try to copy this and paste it over here. Also, we are going to add on some attributes over there. Okay. Let me click on values. So here we are going to traversal now. So let me go to the notepad Let me try to capture the value and then open bracket, close bracket, and then inside the double quotes, try to provide value. Okay, and then after that, so let try to provide the index of the particular array. Okay, so here we can see only one value, right? So we are going to capture the data which is in value which is 0 1. Why I was just mentioning 0 here? So we have only one value, right? So here we have only one value. So if you are going to capture, so let's assume, so we have two kind of data. So two kind of value, which is nothing but value 0 and then value 1. So value 0 has several data and then value 2 have separate data. Okay, so you have to capture the particular array. How to do that? So you have to mention the array node 0 or 1 or 2. So you have to mention the array node. So here I just mentioned 0. Okay, and then so which particular j object you have to capture. Okay, so key, right? We go here and we go to the path. and then try open bracket, close bracket, inside the double quotes, try to provide key. Perfect. That's it. And try to print this key and just check so whether you are able to print the key. Okay. So what actually we are going to do here? So we are not going to take all the data. We are going to capture only the release key. Okay. Perfect. Let me click on save and then try to debug this now. I hope our execution is done. Let me go to the output panel. Here you can see something called as key, right? So this is the release key which you are expecting. So you can see here also, right? So till now what actually we have done? So we have captured the release key. Also we have one more prerequisite is nothing but robot ID. So we are going to capture the robot ID as well. So how to do that? So how to capture the robot ID? Okay. So let me try to minimize this and comment it off as of now. Okay. Let me drag and drop a sequence and just try to name it as robot. So it's for your convenience to avoid confusions actually. So let me try to drag and drop one more orchestrated HTTP request. So here UiPath have provided a separate documentation for each and everything. So as we already know that. So we have a documentation for this particular robot also. So let me scroll down. So here you can see something called as robot, right? So what actually you can do? So you can just try to copy this endpoint. Okay. Just try to copy this endpoint. Jump back to the UiPath. Okay. And in relative endpoint, so you're going to provide this endpoint. Click on OK, perfect, and then you have to create an output. Okay, so in this let me control K Json robot, click on enter, click on OK, and then so we are going to decentralize this, right? Let me try to deserialize. So here you are going to pass Json robot, and then so try to create an output variable which is nothing but j object robot, click on enter, and then click on OK. So let me try to save this and run this now. So by the end of the execution, we will be getting the robot ID as well. So this robot ID which help us to run our start process. This is also a parameter which is required as a prerequisite one. Our execution is done, but nothing is printed since we didn't use our write line. Okay, let me try to drag and drop write line, and then JObject robot dot to string. So we have forgot to use that. Let me try to save this and run this. Yeah, so let me continue the same point. So this particular action will help you to capture the robot ID. So here I'll be not getting any robot ID since I was using my personal computer. Don't have any robot ID as of now. But if you are going to use in an enterprise level, for sure you'll be having a robot ID. So let me go to the output panel. So here you can see something called as O data count equal to 0 for me. Okay. So but don't worry, if you're going to use in an enterprise level, for sure you're going to have a particular dedicated robot. Okay, so let me show the screenshot as well. So when I was just going to use in my enterprise, I was able to capture my ID. So you can see here something called as ID, right? So this is the one which you are going to capture. Okay, so let me highlight that. So this is the entire response which you will be getting. Okay, so in this you're going to capture only the ID which is requested for us. Okay, so in my personal computer, I don't have any robot. That's why I was not able to capture that robot ID. But so as the screenshot, so if you're going to use in your enterprise level, you can able to capture this. So you have to just follow the same endpoint. Then you will be getting this entire response. In this, you are going to capture only the ID. So as we already advised you how to capture, so how to traversal to the node like release. So you have to traversal to the node and then you have to capture the robot ID as well. So once we have captured both the things, we are ready to make our start job. Okay. So this start job, which already know that as a prerequisite of release key as well as the robot ID. So we are going to provide these two things and then we are going to run our job from the studio using the orchestrator HTTP request. Get stay tuned for the next video, how we are going to utilize this particular release ID and the robot ID to start the job. Thanks for watching. Happy learning. Have a good day.